Hello, my name is Bronte Cronsberry and my pronouns are they, them. I'm here to tell you a little bit about my criticism thesis project, Arendt and the Makers. My project is concerned with online community, the sharing of material practice, and intellectual life outside of the academy. In particular, I looked at the phenomenon of makers like Adam Savage, Bernadette Banner, and more, who emerged on YouTube around 2010 and after. In my thesis, I put forward a definition of makers as separate from replication-focused DIY in their emphasis on community members being able to contribute incremental changes or development to ongoing, collectively designed, but individually created projects. My definition, as developed in the thesis, enabled me to explore the ways that makers posting on YouTube actively engaged in a discourse that is collaborative in that creators respond to each other's work and the problems or projects that are circulating. But rather than having a uniform approach, the community favors productive disagreement. I connect these characteristics of the maker community into Hannah Arendt's theory of the public and private realms, and the rise of the social as defined in 1958's The Human Condition. My work argues for maker communities shaping their own public realm online, where a community of peers is able to engage in an open discourse that favors the sharing of ideas without requiring conformity, allowing a rich intellectual life to develop for participants in this space. However, what also became clear through my research is that despite the seemingly open values of the maker community, social issues are still replicated in this space, and makers who take up a topic or materials that are perceived to be too political or outside of the scope of maker values are treated as outsiders and with a great deal of suspicion. In order to explore this more nuanced view of makers, I discussed the experiences of women in the space. In particular, the work of Chinese maker Naomi Wu, who works online under the handle Sexy Cyborg, and whose work was often doubted by other makers in the space, seemingly because she chooses to position her sexualized female body at the center of her work, and uses her making practice to create a rich discourse about her experiences as a woman and the agency of her female body. So although my project started with a seemingly simple definition of makers and pursued a tracing of the boundaries of the maker community on YouTube, the discussion expands to consider the internet as a public realm, the potential of digital spaces to support intellectual life, one that is more open than the traditional academy, and the ways that creative practice continues to be pressured and surveilled by oppressive systems. The culmination of this research is in my thesis document, Arendt and the Makers, but I also view many of these ideas as being in conversation with my non-academic criticism practice, which takes place across my blog, publications in journals, and conference presentations, where I've been able to discuss and develop my critical and theoretical perspective. Thank you very much for your time and consideration of my work for the graduating awards.